Hello and welcome to episode 79 of the Life in General podcast. My name is Nick.
I am Ian.
And we have a guest with us today.
Who's probably already regretting it.
Yes. Hello, Mandy.
Hello.
Yes, Mandy is joining the show with us today.
Yes.
Oh, where'd my notes go again? I've been bad with this lately.
Yeah, you have. You've been so bad, you've been bad retroactively.
Hey, Ian, do we have the... Did you know that we have the beat?
Shut the fuck up.
We've got it.
We got it.
Yeah, Nick's been singing the Go-Go's We Got the Beat for like the last 15 minutes before we started recording.
It's awesome.
It's,
awesome. Awesome sauce?
Yeah.
I was going to say that.
Were you? Awesome sauce. The commercial's terrible.
I've never seen it. At least I don't think I have.
Well, do you
I've heard people say awesome sauce before.
Do you remember what commercial that was, Mandy? Wasn't
No.
it from one of the phone companies? Or it was a credit card company, wasn't it?
I have no idea.
No.
I've never seen it. I've heard other people say awesome sauce before.
Well, shit, you guys are no help.
No, we're not. We don't like commercials.
All right, so any questions or comments, you can email us at contact@lifeingeneralpodcast.com. You can check us out on Facebook. On Twitter, we are at LIGpod. We're on Podbean, iTunes, Google, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube.
Herpes on a whore.
Yes, as Ian likes to say, we are everywhere. Wait, what?
We're everywhere, just like herpes on a whore.
Herpes on a whore, which is not a very good statement.
No.
Right, Mandy?
Correct.
Mandy will be playing the teenager on the show, just head right in her phone, ignoring all of life around her.
Pretty much.
Yes.
As she always does.
Trying.
At least when I'm talking, she ignores.
Exactly.
Well, that I understand.
We'll go to hell. So we've got a topic today, and
we do.
We've talked about it before. Well, not necessarily this part of it, but we talked about Marvel before. We did a whole Facebook Live, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Over the 10-year history of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So we're going to be talking about kind of
where we think it's going to go from here.
Yeah, where it's come, where it's going, and it's why I brought Mandy on the show, because she is the resident Marvel expert.
Yeah.
And by that, he means she's seen all the movies.
And by that, I mean that she has seen at least the last 4 movies.
Oh.
There you go.
Because you've seen... Well, we just saw Spider-Man Far From Home.
Uh-huh.
Which is funny because the first Spider-Man movie was called Homecoming.
Yeah.
But it was recorded very far from Tom Holland's home. And then Far From Home was recorded very close to his home.
Boom.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's not really recorded, it's filmed.
Film, whatever. You know what the hell I meant. He said it was recorded filmed 5 minutes from his parents' house.
Oh. And it's called Far From Home.
It's called Far From Home.
But see, in the world of
make-believe?
magic film, yeah, his character is an American.
Yes.
And his real persona, his real life he's British.
And he has a very thick British accent.
I wouldn't say it's thick. He does a good American accent.
He does.
But then again, a lot of Brits do.
Mandy, what were we just watching? We were just watching somebody, I don't even remember what it was, but the actress had her American accent was bad. Like you heard it.
You're talking Nicole Kidman.
Is that who it was? Oh,
Yeah.
that's what we were.
Her Australian, yeah.
What were we watching? Oh, we were
Big
watching
Little Lies.
Big Little Lies, yeah, which is a really good show.
It really is.
Every once in a while, you can hear her Australian.
Her
accent.
vowels, she does not Americanize very well.
Yeah.
No?
You know what's funny is one of our Nick and my favorite movies. It's kind of a guilty pleasure for if you don't like it, I guess. It's Hackers. Johnny Lee Miller's in that, and he's very British, very
British.
Cockney. And there's a couple times in that movie where it's like it's like the British just
Jumps
oozes out of it.
I don't know. It's been forever since I've seen that movie.
Yeah.
I don't know how anyone can not like the movie Hackers.
I don't know. Well, the argument is that it's not realistic, but I did that with air quotes, by the way.
It wasn't
meant to be. It was just a fun movie.
When was it made?
95.
Yeah, I thought it was in the 90s sometime. So it's okay. Hacking in 1995. It was really in its early stages,
right? Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know.
For what it's worth, I love that fucking movie.
Yeah.
Never seen it.
No.
Nope.
It's on your bucket list because you're going to have to watch that movie at least once. It's a good movie.
Mandy doesn't really watch movies like that, though.
Right. Which is why we have it on our movie show.
Hey, you know what, though? I saying that, Mandy, I would never have picked Mandy to be someone that would like and enjoy Marvel movies.
No.
Because
Mandy,
for the most part, Mandy doesn't like this, like, made-up stuff.
No, she likes lovey-dovey stuff.
I like scary stuff.
And scary stuff, yeah.
Scary stuff and, like, dramas and things like that. Things that are, like, at least based in reality.
Real. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then, yeah, Marvel, these superhero movies, not really.
Right. Well, it skirts the sci-fi thing a lot. So.
Oh, that's true. You've never been a big sci-fi fan.
No. Nope.
Except for, what was that one movie you really liked? Labyrinth? Maybe.
God. Stop.
You don't like Labyrinth?
I'm going to cry.
Mandy hates Labyrinth.
Why?
It is terrifying.
Well, it's meant to be family
It's
scary.
terrifying.
Is it because of the baby?
The baby being stolen?
Or David Bowie?
David Bowie is just creepy.
He is kind of creepy.
He is kind of creepy.
He is trying to marry, if memory serves, he is trying to marry a teenage girl.
Yeah. They
But
stole the baby. It was her little brother. Like, why would you give your little brother away? Like, why?
Because she hated him.
Well, that's not nice.
Well, I know.
You can't do that.
Oh.
And he does want to marry a teenage girl.
That's gross.
Ian keeps bringing that up.
I'm just saying.
My mom loves that movie.
Oh, really?
I hate that.
I always liked it, too.
I always liked it, too. I'm choking.
You're choking there, Ian?
Yeah.
You're gonna die?
Eventually.
And actually, speaking of Labyrinth, I did get that on vinyl not too long ago.
The soundtrack?
Yeah, the soundtrack. It's got some good music. I like Bowie. I think Bowie's
Bowie's fun.
For a long time, I thought David Bowie was very overrated.
I don't think he is.
The more I've listened to his music, he's got some really good
and it's very different. Every album is extremely different.
It's very different.
And you don't have to like it all. You can like some of it and not like others. But.
Yeah, because it's got very different periods. Yep. And I think a lot of that I was basing it off of like his more popular songs.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But the more I kind of listen to it, like the deeper cuts on the album are really good.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're going to talk about.
We're not going to talk about Bowie today.
Or music. I'm going to stay away from talking music for one episode.
Spoil all our
That's
fun.
too bad.
Yeah.
You want to talk about music instead, Mandy?
I don't know. Not my music. You don't want to talk about what I want to talk about.
Why? What do you want to talk about?
Boy bands.
We can talk about boy bands.
You guys can.
Let's move on.
Mandy was a big NSYNC fan.
Still is, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who's your favorite boy band, though, Mandy? Is it NSYNC
Yeah.
over New Kids on the Block?
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. Even though you just went and saw...
I don't care.
You went and saw New Kids on the Block and got to touch them?
Joy Fatone, man.
Nick, you can be a Pink Floyd fan and still be an MXPX fan.
Well, yeah, they're two very different genres.
All right, fine. You can be a Blink fan and an MXPX fan.
Yeah, I guess. I was just shocked because I thought she'd be a bigger New Kids on the Block fan than anything.
No,
else.
I think the output of NSYNC was far greater.
Really? It's only 3 albums. How many?
Well, 2 for New Kids on the Block, right?
No.
Plus
2
Christmas.
Plus the Christmas. 2
Yeah.
plus
So
the
3.
Christmas.
So 3.
Yeah,
I guess.
Christmas albums don't count.
And they put on.
They have a couple new ones.
Yeah.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They put out a new album, just a couple years ago, didn't they? What was the name of it? Do you remember? Or?
No.
Oh.
I don't like new stuff.
No?
I like nostalgia.
Is it a lot different than their old stuff? Or
Did you even listen to it?
No.
No.
You got the right stuff.
Baby?
No, apparently they had the right stuff. They don't have it anymore.
And I can kind of say the same thing. I'm a big MXPX fan, but they've got some of their like mid to late like 2000s albums. I don't really listen to a whole lot. Let's Rock.
Yeah, but
I mean,
Panic. There are examples of where if you ignore some of the newer stuff, you're losing out, like Green Day. I mean, if you just like their 90s stuff and ignore their 2000 stuff, you're missing out on some good music.
I mean, I think their 90s stuff
may be better, but
outside of American Idiot, I would say is better.
Yeah, I wouldn't even go that far. I would say that they've released some albums post 2000 that are
Revolution Radio is okay. I'm not a huge fan of it though. It's got a couple of good songs, and I will say
I would say it's 75% good album.
It's better than I originally gave it credit for.
Right.
But Uno, Dos, and Trey, I think, are not very good.
Oh, I beg to differ.
I think they're 3. I think they're their 3 worst albums, And they would probably agree.
Yeah, maybe. But I think Uno by itself, if you take that out of the equation by itself, is better than Kerplunk. I know that's, yeah. I think so.
Are we talking about card games? What are we? Uno and Kerplunk and...
Was Kerplunk a card game? Or wasn't Kerplunk the game where you pulled the little straws out?
Yeah.
The marbles fell? Yeah. That game was awesome. I used to play with my grandfather all the time.
My grandmother and I used to play pickup sticks.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I used to play Kerplunk, and I played, what was the other one with the little plastic discs?
Connect 4?
No. Is it Tiddlywinks? I think it was Tiddlywinks. I used to play with my grandparents a lot too.
Never heard of that one.
We always played a lot of card games. We played euchre. We'd play dominoes. Things like that.
Yeah,
also.
Pickup sticks, Connect 4, Battleship, because she bought me the electronic Battleship. So we play
you rich bastards.
I was gonna say all I did was string beans in the backyard.
Well, we did that too because my grandfather grew green beans in the garden. So we were always breaking breaking the stems off and. So those were the days.
I never had electronic Battleship. I had the regular.
Oh, and I take that back. She didn't buy it for me. My dad bought it for me. But that was probably around the time that him and my mom got divorced, so it was more of a guilt gift than anything.
Yeah. So. Your dad doesn't listen to this show, does he?
No.
I just want to.
He says he's going to, but he's
someday.
Someday.
I think my dad used to listen to it. I don't know if he still does or not.
And even if he did, I mean, he wouldn't deny that. Yeah. He admits that Christmas after the divorce.
Oh, I bet.
He went way overboard.
Yeah.
We're talking boxes of gifts.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Which makes up for the fact that I pretty much haven't gotten much in the way of gifts since then. So.
Yeah.
So, had the one good Christmas. So
yeah.
Sorry.
I remember.
It's not about that for me anyway. So
I don't remember what year it was, but there was one year where my parents spent way too much freaking money.
Every year.
No, there was one year in particular because after that. So it was like, I don't know. She probably spent hundreds of dollars on each one of us, and like you walk out in the living room and there was like just this mess of presents. But after that, it was like we'd get
one big gift,
and then she'd get like little stuff with it too. Yeah. But I don't know because I remember like one year I got a keyboard, and my brother got a CD player and 2 CDs.
Which back then was a lot of money. It doesn't seem like it now, but that was a lot of money back then.
He got Alice Cooper, was it Trash?
Yep.
And then he got Tesla, the Great Radio Controversy.
It's not a bad album.
No. But anyway,
we did actually have a topic that wasn't.
Wait, didn't I say we weren't going to talk about music?
Yeah, it's okay. Well, a little bit of sidetrack for us isn't too bad as long as we brought ourselves back.
I guess,
which we did quickly. Relatively speaking.
Yeah, we're only 13 minutes into the show.
Sure. So how about that Spider-Man? I actually haven't seen Far From Home yet. So.
Yeah, and I think it's really good. I mean, what do you think of it, Mandy?
I loved it.
She gives it an A+.
Yeah?
Why are you still staring at me?
Did you compare it to Homecoming?
Do you remember? I don't know. Mandy did you see Homecoming?
Yeah.
Who was in that one?
Tom Holland was Spider-Man in that.
Oh.
It was a while. When did that come out?
2016 or 17?
Was it?
Yeah. It had to be. Well, it was right after Civil War.
Mandy didn't see it in theaters. I know that.
No. I was here when you were watching it. You, Christy, and Eric were watching it one night.
What did he do?
He saved the day.
Oh, all right. Wow.
From the Vulture, who he was hot for that one girl who wasn't Mary Jane, Zendaya. It was that other chick, and her father was Michael Keaton, or is Michael Keaton, playing the Vulture. Huh. He was selling the weapons and he was stealing stuff from.
Huh. Yeah.
Apparently, Mandy doesn't quite remember that.
Don't remember.
Donald Glover's in it for a brief few minutes.
I don't think Mandy would know who Donald Glover was if she saw him.
I know who he is. Give me a break. Yes.
She doesn't wash her hands completely of new stuff.
Right?
I don't know. Have you seen Donald Glover in anything?
Did you see Solo?
No. We watched the first...
I did.
No, we watched the first 10 minutes of it and you fell asleep.
Oh. Well, maybe I watched it after
that makes
you
sense.
left.
The first 10 minutes of that movie is a little slow. Yeah, maybe Mandy is secretly watching Star Wars movies when you're not.
I would say so. So Homecoming, the Homecoming came out in July of 2017.
17, okay.
So Mandy didn't see that in the theater. She didn't see Ragnarok in the theater, but I think she's seen everything else since then in the theater.
Okay.
Black Panther, Infinity War. Oh, you didn't see Ant-Man and the Wasp either.
No.
But you did see Captain Marvel, and you did see Endgame and Far From Home.
Yes. Facts.
Very much so. So anyway, there's 23 movies. The 23 movies have grossed over $22 billion.
That's insane.
It's the average movie has brought in $958,470,720.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hell of a haul for 23 films.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And that's, if you figure out the budgets, that would be close to maybe about $2 billion for the budget if you added all the budgets together.
You think so?
I think at least $100 million each. Times 23. At least $100 million.
Yeah, I would say at a minimum.
At a minimum. So yeah,
I would think maybe a little more than that, but it's probably somewhere
still a
around
huge
there.
profit. Huge profit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that the MCU has been a worldwide sensation for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
And I don't know, as much as I have enjoyed the MCU, and I was kind of late to the party. I think the first one I saw in the theaters was probably Civil War. I think is the first one I saw, and that was in 2016.
The first one I saw was Avengers 2, Age of Ultron.
And so that was
2014?
2015.
15?
May 1st, 2015.
That was the first one I watched in the theater.
But I went back, well, we were in Florida, and the first Captain America movie came on TNT or something like that. So I ended up sitting there watching that, and that's kind of how I got hooked into it.
Right. And that's a good one to start, actually.
Yeah, and then Civil War came out, I don't know, probably a month after we came back from vacation.
Uh-huh.
So so within the next couple of months, I think I went back and watched all the movies up to that point. But that's kind of where I started out at it. But started off in the series. But it's, as much as I've liked all these movies, I kind of have a hard time believing that it's going to have the same success moving forward. Because really, for 23 movies, it's kind of had the same central theme.
Right. And now that theme is
over.
Right. Plus, the key players are, for the most part, are not going to be there. Robert Downey Jr. is done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Evans is done.
Mm-hmm.
There's some question about Chris Hemsworth.
He's said that he's on for the foreseeable future.
Okay. But still,
But they have said that the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie is not going to be called as Guardians of the Galaxy. They've gotten that out of the way.
Well, I would hope that they wouldn't call it that even if Thor was in it.
It was in the comic books.
Was it?
Yeah, when Thor joined the Guardians of the Galaxy, it was.
Huh. Well, I don't like that either. But I think there was good chemistry though between Thor and the other characters.
In the Guardians?
Yeah.
I think so. I'm looking forward to Guardians 3.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Because I know that's been slightly delayed just because of
the whole
James Gunn
thing.
Well, when he was fired, he went and did Birds of Prey, or whatever that's going to be called. I think it's still called Birds of Prey.
What is that?
DC. It's Harley Quinn. She's the villain, and it's.
Is it going to be the same girl playing Harley Quinn?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's.
You liked that movie, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
She was in. What was the DC? It was Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's also in that upcoming Tarantino film. She plays Sharon Tate in Once Upon a Time.
By the way, that looks sweet. Have you seen the previews for that?
Yeah, I've been wanting to see it since it was announced.
So is Once Upon a Time? It's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Is that how much of that actually covers? I know this is
it's all fictionalized.
I know it's off topic, but how much of that of the movie is going to revolve around the Tate murders?
Very little.
Other
than her character, because it's all before that. So the two main characters.
I assumed it covered it. It went up through that.
I don't know. I don't know how far it goes, but it's. I mean, for the most part, I understand it's all kind of prior to.
Okay.
So it's Leonardo DiCaprio is an aging actor. Brad Pitt plays his stunt double,
man, yeah.
And they're friends. And he's trying to get back into. He's trying to get a name for himself. He's trying to, detach himself from his past career and wants to have, become more famous again.
Yeah.
And it's his exploits through that. So some of the avant-garde films of the day, like what Sharon Tate was in, like Valley of the Dolls, Beyond the Valley, whatever one it was.
I don't think I've ever seen her in any of the movies she did.
I can't remember if it was Valley of the Dolls or Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. I've seen them. I mean, it's for what it is. I mean, I don't know how to explain the movies, but
that's all right.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But it's just kind of that, and because of that they're moving around in those circles of Hollywood. They're gonna run into Manson, and because he was running around in those circles, trying to anyway, especially with Dennis Wilson and some of that
the Beach
stuff,
Boys and all
Beach
that
Boys,
stuff.
Yeah. So it looks fantastic. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. When does it come out? Do you know?
Next week.
Does it really?
I think so. Yeah.
Sweet. Maybe I'll see that while I'm on vacation.
Ooh.
So yeah, back to Marvel. There isn't anything. Nothing has been confirmed after Far From Home.
As far as like initial set dates, but we know Black Panther 2 is coming. We know that.
Well, there's a couple things that are in.
Spider-Man 3 is coming.
Yeah. Well, Black Panther, the Black Panther sequel, the Doctor Strange sequel.
And last time I heard that was still even
Guardians 3, Shang-Chi.
Oh yeah, that one's been
and confirmed. Black Widow are all in the works at some point.
And the Eternals.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which I'm not. What is the Eternals?
I don't know.
I'm not.
I think it's. I really don't know. I've never read any of the comics. I don't know any of the stories. So,
but I know those are all at some stage in the works.
Right.
Black Panther obviously is going to take place. Hopefully, I'm not spoiling this for anyone, but it's going to have to take place prior to Endgame.
Why?
Because she died in Endgame, Ian.
Black Widow.
Black Widow. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You said Black Panther. That's like why?
I'm sorry. Black Widow.
Black Widow. Yes, it is. It's a prequel. At least that's what I've heard so far.
And I guess that it's going to be Scarlett Johansson's last adventure in the MCU.
Unless it does well, then they can do a sequel. Because
that's true.
When you're going backwards, you can go anywhere as long as she doesn't start aging badly or something.
And originally, when I was looking up the movies and was reading about the Black Widow movie, before I saw all that, I kind of assumed that they would have to do some kind of time travel thing and bring her back.
And they still could.
They still could.
The Eternals could bring them back.
I don't think they're going to though, because I don't really see her moving on much further.
Yeah, it would be a waste of a story, I think, to do it just to bring someone back for 1 or 2 movies, and then that's it. And then you have to kill them off again, or write them out somehow.
What was your favorite Marvel movie, Mandy?
So far. That you've liked. Did you like Black Panther?
I loved Black Panther.
Okay. Did you like Black Panther more than Spider-Man?
I think I liked Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
I think that was one of my favorites.
Really good.
Yeah. I thought that was really good.
I actually haven't had a chance to rewatch it again since it's been out.
Oh, really?
I want to, yeah.
Yeah, we just watched it. How long? That was a couple weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, Captain Marvel was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And very kind of different, too, from the other films, I think.
You think so?
A little bit.
As far as?
Just a different feel. It had more of a... I don't know, kind of like a...
It definitely had like a retro feel to it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is.
In the 90s.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even like, you watch Captain America, the first one, I mean, it's a period piece, but it's still vibed kind of the same way, whereas Captain Marvel, I think, just had a different... I felt like I was watching like an 80s or late 80s, early 90s movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, that was intentional, of course, but... Even like some of the story beats kind of reminded me of like Daryl from the 80s. The movie Daryl. Did you ever see it?
No.
About the kid robot?
Oh, jeez, I forgot all about that.
I mean,
who was in that? Do you remember?
I don't remember. It's been
I remember seeing it. That was like early 80s, wasn't it?
Mid-80s. It was like 84, I think.
Was it?
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, it kind of had that feel to it to me. I don't know why. Not really. I guess I shouldn't say story beats, but just the way it vibed, that's what it reminded me of.
I got you.
So
I guess so. Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
So, but I can see that,
That and then Captain America, any of his were my favorites. Too.
And as far as the standalones go, Captain America, I think his films were the most consistent throughout.
I think so. But I mean, really, if you think about it,
Iron Man 3 was a little weak. Well, yeah. Iron Man 2 arguably could have been weak, was a little weak too.
It was, but
Thor, same thing.
As far as like the 3 Captain America movies go, there's really only 2 of them. The Civil War was basically an Avengers movie.
Yeah, overall, I suppose, but I don't know. I mean, he was the main character. Yeah. It should have just been called Civil War. It shouldn't have been called Captain America Civil War.
No, yeah, you're right.
But that's just my opinion. But because it's called Captain America Civil War, I still count it as part of his 3 films. And out of all of the solo films, I think the Captain America ones were the most solid throughout.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah,
because for a while, the first Captain America was my favorite of all of them.
I mean, it still kind of is mine.
Yeah, I don't know. I go back and forth, but
Winter Soldier is really good. You saw Winter Soldier, didn't you? Yeah. Okay. That was the one where
Winter Soldier was tied until Black Panther came out. And then I think Black Panther slightly edged it out a little bit. Just slightly. For me.
The funny thing is with Winter Soldier, and I don't know if you know this either, but so Bucky died in the comic series, right?
Yeah.
And for like 40 years, it was always like this long running joke that everyone that dies in comic books always comes back, except for Bucky. Bucky was always the exception,
right?
And then like the 90s, I think it was, they brought Bucky back as Winter Soldier. So it kind of ruined that ongoing joke, but. But I think the Winter Soldier is fantastic. I'm really interested to see where they go with Winter Soldier and Falcon, because they're doing the TV show on the Disney streaming service.
Yeah, I'm excited about that too, because I know Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has kind of distanced itself from the overall cinematic universe. I haven't watched. I'm way behind on it. But I know
I've never watched it.
Their stories, they're still there. I mean, it's still in the same universe, but their stories have taken them in directions that really kind of separate them from the rest of the universe in a good way.
Yeah.
Because I can't see it being able to stay fresh if they had to continuously
adapt
to what's going.
Movie, yeah.
And they still did. They still had to do I'm assuming they still had to do the whatever the snap, yeah. But it's going to be I'm curious to see how these Disney X or Disney Plus movies really try to stay true to what's going on in the
Are you going to get that service?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Hopefully, Mandy, we can steal his password so we can watch it.
Now that you said it on air, I don't know if I'm willing to do that because I can get in trouble.
Whatever.
Good job.
Yeah, whatever. Because no one ever does that.
Right.
I wonder.
Well, I'm a law-abiding citizen, Nick. I don't know about you.
Whatever. But yeah, there's and outside of the television, I mean, there's more. So there's a list online I found of movies that are actually in the works, and then there's a list of anticipated projects.
Yeah.
And on there you got Ant-Man 3.
Right.
Because Ant-Man and the Wasp did pretty well.
Yeah. And both of them were like the least performing, but they still made a lot of money.
Yeah. And Mandy, I know you didn't see Ant-Man and the Wasp, but it was really good. Mm-hmm. I really liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was decent. I
don't think it was as good as the first Ant-Man movie.
I agree with that. But it was so self-contained too. It was kind of in a sense its own film too. Different like Captain Marvel was.
Yeah.
The story is so there's nothing else going on in the world. It's just focused on that one plot.
The funny thing is,
which is good, but it's different.
Ant-Man and the Wasp literally takes place at the exact same time as Infinity War.
Right, because the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp is literally the snap.
Yeah, because Ant-Man goes back into the quantum realm, and then what's the girl that plays the Wasp?
Evangeline something or
Lily.
Mm-hmm.
So she's supposed to bring him back out of the quantum realm, but she gets snapped.
So he's stuck in the quantum realm.
Yeah, so he's stuck there, and that's where Endgame starts. With the mouse coming across the machine and kicking him out, which I thought was a really stupid way to do it, but it worked.
Right. Well, yeah, for what it is, it weirder things have happened.
I know.
You've got.
I think it would have made more sense to have. Okay, so you're gonna have the machine in storage or whatever. Have somebody like break in and and accidentally activate it that way.
Right.
Instead of a mouse.
But the thing is the world's in chaos. Who's breaking in? Who gives a shit?
Yeah, so that's true.
Because the whole world's in like depression and.
So there's definitely going to be an Ant-Man 3 that's going to happen. Captain Marvel 2 obviously is going to happen.
I would hope so.
The amount of money it made,
right? Because then the nice thing is with that is they could go anywhere. They could do another prequel story, or they could go forward.
What I read online,
which in my opinion they should go forward, but
yeah. What I read online was it was gonna take place between Captain Marvel 1 and Endgame.
Okay.
So it's
it's a prequel story.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, it's still. I mean, it's a prequel in the sense that it still takes place before the stuff
correct.
we've got. So
correct. So I'm assuming it's going to take place in space.
Yeah, which it could. I mean, a lot of that space stuff that was in it was fine. It didn't,
Because when she leaves at the end of Captain Marvel 1, she leaves to go help what are they called, the Skrulls? The Skrulls?
Yeah, something like that.
Go help them return to or find another planet to live on. But you've got all this chaos happening on other worlds. So right. I mean, it could really go.
The reason
anywhere.
It kept her away, which is what she even says in Endgame. The reason she, the rest of the universe is still existing without, outside of you. So
I'm assuming it's going to take place somewhere in there.
If they want to have her earthbound or have a story that involves Earth, it would make sense to go forward rather than backward. Is kind of what I was going with.
Yeah,
if they go backwards, it has to be all space.
Yeah, I see that. And then with obviously Spider-Man 3 is going to happen.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Tom Holland's already said that he's going to play Spider-Man until they tell him he can't.
Yeah.
Which is cool because I think Tom Holland's the best Spider-Man they've had.
I agree. I would agree with that. I was never really sold by Tobey Maguire anyway.
No.
I liked Andrew Garfield for what it's worth, but looking at Tom Holland, it's no competition.
No.
Andrew Garfield was better than Tobey Maguire in my opinion, but Tom Holland just
I'm glad you said his name because I almost called him James Garfield.
That's the president. Yeah.
It's my papa's name.
No, that is his name, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Garfield's his middle name?
James Garfield, that's it. Uh-huh.
That's cool. I don't know anything about the president, so I don't know if that's
Didn't
a good
he
thing
take over for Lincoln?
We had this conversation on another show. I don't remember the lineage.
You're the expert on that stuff.
Why am I the expert?
Because you're the person I go to when I have questions like that.
I've got an app on my phone, but I'm not going to open it up right now.
Okay.
Because we're not talking about that.
Yeah, we're not talking about
that. So they're going to do a Thor 4 also, is what I was told.
Okay.
Or what I've read.
See, to me, I've just read that that's up in the air.
So I'm assuming he's going to go through Guardians 3, and then Thor 4 will take off of there. Why is that hard for me to say?
Because it's just two words.
Can you say that, Mandy?
Thor 4.
Thor 4?
Thor 4.
Yeah, you got it. You just had to be trained.
Piss off. So Thor 4 is going to happen. The other thing I've read is possibly going to happen is they're going to revive Blade.
I have heard of that too.
And there's been talks of Wesley Snipes reprising his role.
I think it would be a missed opportunity to recast it and find a younger actor, maybe a young up and coming actor who's got the chops to do it, because I'm sure there's plenty of them out there.
Yeah.
Give another actor a chance. You can still have Wesley Snipes in it as somebody else, but start the Blade story over. It's hard to reconcile everything that's happened thus far, as far as with Thanos and Novus. I mean, all the space stuff, and then throw vampires in there. It's tough. It's very difficult to reconcile that in my mind. Whether or not they can pull it off, I never would have guessed they've been able to pull off what they've done. So I'm on board no matter what they do. But if you're going to do Blade as a separate universe and recast Blade, I think.
I think you would have to.
Like I said, there's plenty of young African American actors out there who would do a fine job, and give the up and coming actors a chance. Because if you didn't, that's how you get a Chadwick Boseman.
Exactly. Exactly.
Or Michael B. Jordan. That's
yep.
That's what the industry needs. I think if you're going to do that. So
the other interesting one that I've seen rumored is Dr. Doom, and that's because I don't remember the guy's name. Let me see if I can find it. It was because when they before Disney bought 21st Century Fox,
20th Century Fox.
I mean, yeah, that's what I meant, 20th Century Fox. There was a script done
for Fantastic Four 2
for Dr. Doom. a script for a Doctor Doom movie.
Okay.
And I guess it's kind of up in the air now.
Right.
But I think that'd be kind of...
well, is it based on the Fantastic Four that Fox did right before?
And that's the other thing.
Because that bombed really bad.
I think if they were to do a Doctor Doom movie, they would have to...
do a Fantastic
Four because Doctor Doom... I guess they wouldn't really necessarily have to. But from what I read, the Doctor Doom movie is a standalone movie for Doctor Doom.
Right, but his origin story is tied in with Fantastic Four.
It is.
That I understood. The way I understood it.
Well, not so much. I mean, Kang the Conqueror is directly from Fantastic Four, and that's been the big rumor for him replacing Thanos as the main villain. Main villain is Kang, because Kang is the father of I don't remember the character, but the main guy in Fantastic Four. Kang is his father.
You're talking about the stretchy guy, Mr. Fantastic?
Reed Richards.
Yeah, Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, Mr. Fantastic. So that's kind of been the rumor for who's...
I mean, I've never been a big fan of the Fantastic Four.
The movie was terrible.
Yeah, even the comics, I never really liked. I never got into them.
No.
They just seemed a little... They always seemed a little too Super Friends to me. But... and kind of like a knockoff of Super Friends more than anything. But... I think if anyone could do a good job with it, it would be MCU. I mean... But the Spider-Man was faltering, and MCU took it and
that's true.
Killed it.
Yeah.
So, in a good way, killed it. So I mean, if they have a plan and they want to integrate Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom and all that, and King the Conqueror and all that stuff, I'm on board for whatever they're going to do because they haven't had a misstep yet.
Yeah, and I just know that with the purchase of 20th Century Fox came the script for Doctor Doom. So that's why
even if they like the script, it's still going to go through
multiple steps.
The MCU filter.
Yes, exactly.
Regardless.
And it should.
As it should, yes.
And the other thing is, I'm interested to see if they're going to do anything with X-Men. I think eventually they're going to have to.
Right. The problem is it's almost after 23 movies, it would be too hard to integrate it into the MCU, I think.
You think so?
Yeah, I really do. Because look at the history of the X-Men, the characters. Mm-hmm. I mean, the whole mutation thing goes back to World War II.
See, and that's why there was talk of when Far From Home came out, and there was this whole thing about the multiverse.
Does that play into the movie? Because like I said, I haven't seen it yet. Does the multiverse play into Far From Home?
It does, but okay. I don't want to spoil anything really beyond that.
Okay, for the fans, for our fans,
for anyone that hasn't seen Far From Home,
you can spoil it for me after we get off the air here because I don't. Yeah. I'm going to see it, but it doesn't matter. I can be spoiled.
So speculation was they could use the multiverse to bring in the X-Men.
Right. Well, I honestly thought that they were going to use the reversal of the snap to do that.
And I will just say that after Far From Home, they kind of ended that possibility.
Okay. They nixed it?
Kind of.
Oh, okay. Well,
but you'd have to see it.
Because that's what I thought. I was like, okay, they got the merger with Fox hadn't completely gone through as they were making Endgame.
Yeah.
But I kept thinking they could do something in Endgame where when the snap is reversed, it could kind of reset the whole timeline in a sense. Mm-hmm. That's what I was suspecting they were going to do, and that would be able to give them the open to bring in the X-Men if they so chose to. At the very least, some of the X-Men.
I don't think it would have been a very good opportunity to, but...
Well, I mean, honestly, that's what DC's going to do with their Flash movie. They're going to reset the whole movie universe and start over.
Well, DC sucks. I'm sorry.
Well, that's their fix. That'll be their fix.
I guess.
Theoretically.
I don't think it'll work.
At this point, I think DC is better when they do their movies standalone.
Yeah.
Fuck the group movies. Fuck the shared universe.
Aquaman was really good.
I still haven't seen Aquaman.
We started watching it, didn't we, Mandy?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we made it. I don't know why. Haven't. I don't know why we didn't. I don't know why we stopped.
Yeah, I still haven't seen it. But Wonder Woman was fantastic. Mm-hmm. I loved Wonder Woman, and I'm really looking forward to the next one.
1984.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good. That'd be really good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
That comes out next year, right?
I don't know. Is it? I don't know. I'm curious now. I'm gonna look it up.
Mandy, if only Ian would take notes, then maybe we would.
Well, if I was taking notes, it would have been on Marvel movies alone, not DC.
True.
I'm just saying. But yeah, there's definitely some TV series that I'm looking forward to. Falcon and Winter Soldier, like I said, just kind of see where they're going to go forward with it.
June 5th, 2020.
So next year.
Yep.
They're going to do a Loki series.
Yeah, on the same network.
Which makes sense now because...
But that doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Why?
He's dead. And he didn't die in the snap. He was killed before that.
It's going to take place after he stole the Tesseract and disappeared.
Okay. Well, that's fine. That makes sense.
Yes. So that's going to take place in that period of that timeline.
So post Dark World. So between Dark World and Endgame.
Yes.
Or Infinity
War. Yeah. Well, it'd take place after... Is that...
Dark World is where he... Well, I guess... Yeah, he stole the Tesseract in Dark World, but he also took over...
No, it's going to take place right after the first of our Avengers movie.
Well, at the end of the first Avengers movie, he didn't have the Tesseract.
But he did.
Oh, yeah, because they play with the timeline and all that stuff. I forgot about that.
That's where it comes in.
Oh. So now it's starting to get a little confusing. If you're starting to lose me, because I like that kind of stuff, if you're starting to lose me, that's a problem.
Yeah, because in Endgame, he got the Tesseract at the end of the first Avengers movie.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's going to take place.
But it still has to figure it somewhere.
That was the question I had after. I think.
Well, after
we walked out of the movie theater, I was like,
"So what happened with Loki? Lokis?
Huh?
Will there be two Lokis?
No,
because at the end of Endgame or the end of Avengers, first Avengers, he's taken back to to Asgard by Thor, and he's in jail in Asgard.
No, because they changed that in the timeline because he disappeared. They weren't able to take him back to Asgard. See where it changes?
I guess.
So they didn't end up taking him back to Asgard, so none of that happened.
So, well, then that's all of Thor 2 and 2 didn't happen.
Exactly.
And arguably all of Thor 3 didn't happen.
Potentially.
So then Asgard should still be there.
Who knows? I don't know. It's an alternate timeline now.
Oh, you start losing me on that shit. You know how I feel about.
But I don't know. So that's my question: is how are they going to play that? What's going to happen?
Well, I mean, again,
and it's not going to be very long.
They haven't steered me wrong yet, so I'm on board. But that's
the one I have a big problem with is WandaVision. So it's going to be Scarlet Witch and Vision. They're going to have their own TV series.
Okay.
And what I've read about it and what's been leaked is that it takes place in the 1950s, and I don't know how the hell they're going to do that. Because Vision's dead.
Right. Because, again, he died.
He died in Infinity War.
Right. Well, everyone died in Infinity War. But
no. He actually died in Infinity War.
That's what I mean. So did Loki.
Yes.
Theoretically. But, again, it's all theoretical now because you've thrown in the separate timelines.
Yeah, but I don't see how that timeline's going to change.
We don't know.
You don't know.
We don't know what Steve Rogers did in the time frame that he was.
That's true.
He's lived out the rest of his life from 1947 on, or 46, whatever it was, on, and well, I guess it would have even been 45 on, because the war was still.
Regardless, doesn't matter.
Right. So there's things that he could have done too.
That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be. I think it's interesting to see what they do.
And Vision can always come back because he was. Granted, he was. But his consciousness was artificial. So, or his intelligence was artificial.
Yeah, but he was Ultron. He was.
I know he was all of the above.
He was everybody. It was Tony. It was.
I think the timeline changing would have also maybe even prevented Ultron from coming to.
I don't know,
fruition.
and that's all I'm saying. It'd be interesting. The other one that I guess is going to be out is there's going to be a Hawkeye series.
Oh, I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, the series is going to focus on Hawkeye training his protege, which I'm assuming is going to be his daughter.
Okay.
Because that's kind of hinted, I think, a little bit in the beginning of Endgame.
Okay.
Because his daughter is shooting the bow and arrow. And
when the snap happens?
Yeah, and he calls her Hawkeye. I don't know. I think that's kind of
right.
It'd be the logical
I don't know, though. I think that would be a slight departure from his character.
You think so?
Yes, because he's tried very hard to keep his family separate from that life. Why would he train his daughter to join into it?
I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see what this series
to me, that doesn't jive. But, yeah, wait and see. You know, a lot of it is wait and see because
you don't know where it's going to go.
We don't know where it's going, and all we can go on is what we've had before, and everything that we've had before has been consistent and good. So, going forward,
I don't know.
I'm willing to take everything at face value until they let me down, I guess, is my point.
I've had issues with Marvel's TV shows.
So this is different, though. This isn't TV shows.
I know it's not TV shows.
And like I've said a million times, yes, they've had a few missteps. I think
a few missteps.
2. They've had 2 out of 3, granted, but 2. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a good show.
It is.
It's a consistently good show. It's well written. It's well acted, and I think any shit that's put on it, I think, is unfair. Agent Carter, the first season was fantastic. They dropped the ball on the second season, and that killed it. The Immortals, that was just a whole misstep. Or Inhumans, yeah, that was a whole misstep.
Inhumans was terrible.
That was just a whole misstep in general. But I love Daredevil. I was a little weak on Jessica Jones. Luke Cage was good. I have not watched Iron Fist yet, and I haven't watched Defenders. But I will defend Daredevil all the way.
See, I'm not.
I guess there were more than 3, but I was thinking about the 3 ABC shows.
I watched the first season of Daredevil, and it was. I don't know. I
thought it was great. I didn't
like the Kingpin character.
I thought he was awesome.
Yeah.
He was better than the Michael Clark Duncan, hammed up version of the Kingpin. I thought he was a well-rounded character, and I thought it more so than even the comic book allowed.
Yeah, but I heard great things about Punisher. I heard it was really.
Oh
good.
Yeah, I forgot about Punisher.
I didn't see any of that. So. I know Ghost Rider's coming out still.
Oh, see, I haven't even heard about that. But see, Ghost Rider was the main character in the 5th season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So there's
I know the next
precedent for that character.
The 3rd season of Runaways is coming out.
Well, those are separate. Runaways is Fox Marvel.
Yeah.
But no. I'm sorry. Runaways is not. Cloak and Dagger and Runaways are still. Yeah. You're right. I haven't watched those 2. I'm thinking of Legion and The Gifted. Those are X-Men shows.
So there's another series that's listed for Disney Plus called What If?
I have no idea what that is.
I don't know what it is either.
What does it say?
I'm plucking on it. Give me one minute. It doesn't even really say anything. In March 2019, it was reported that an animated-based series based on Marvel Comics' What If comic book series was coming to Disney Plus.
Oh. So it's an animated
series.
The series
stories will not be considered. Okay,
it's animated. It's not going to connect.
It's not going to be canon.
Yeah, it's probably like What Ifs comics they used to do. Like, what if Superman landed in Russia?
It's going to be each episode will examine a different crucial moment in the MCU's history and explore different outcomes.
Yes, they even did the same thing with the original trilogy of Star Wars in comic book form.
That might be kind of interesting.
Yeah, I really like the Infinities, the Star Wars Infinities comics.
Yeah.
Because they didn't do like a continuing story. They just did each individual of the original trilogy as though it ended differently. So, with Return of the Jedi, Darth Vader doesn't die, but he still turns good, and Leia is the one who turns him.
Oh, really?
That kind of thing.
That's interesting.
It was very, very clever. But and I think Empire Strikes Back, Luke dies at the beginning.
Uh-huh.
And Leia goes to Dagobah to train as a Jedi. That kind of, what if this happened? And then watch the course of the story go.
And as far as like main villains, the 4 main ones I've seen talked about, like I said before, is Kang the Conqueror,
right?
Which I think that you'd have to do a Fantastic Four movie if he's going to
do that. Yeah,
that'd be the logical step to introduce him. Magneto, Doctor Doom, and Galactus.
Galactus, I think, is probably the most likely because they don't have to touch Fantastic Four for that.
But maybe.
So, but I think that's when you deal with Galactus, you're kind of treading on similar ground as Thanos too, right?
Yeah, I mean, well,
to some degree.
To some degree.
Yeah, but I don't know. What do you think, Mandy? You've been very quiet over there.
I have no idea.
Mandy was never a comic book person.
I know, but let's say theoretically, someone. not necessarily me, but someone was willing to share their Disney Plus account with your family, would you be up for watching these shows?
I think so. I don't know.
Continuing with the Marvel universe with what you've seen so far.
Yeah.
Because really, you come in as kind of like the
independent person?
The independent, the casual, we'll say. So, I mean, if you're willing to watch them, that says a lot about...
If somebody watches them with me, I'm not going to choose it on my own.
Okay.
I'm going to watch HGTV if I have the choice.
Or The Bachelor.
Right.
I need to go finish that.
No, you don't.
Oh, I already did.
I'm gonna spoil it for you.
Don't.
She picks somebody. And in 6 months, they won't even be around anymore.
They might. You never know.
Some of them end up together, don't they?
Mm-hmm. It's quite a few.
I'm more likely to watch The Bachelor than Bachelorette if I'm going to be forced to watch. Because the Bachelorette, I'm sorry, all the guys on there seem like douchebags.
Yeah.
They're not.
Well, the girls seem like bitches. I mean, it's like they're there for the 15 minutes of fame or the money, or because he's an attractive man.
I don't think so with the women. Because for the most part, I don't think women generally work like that. Guys...
Okay, I'll tell you what. Change The Bachelor from what the guys that they usually have and put me on there. And I guarantee you the girls will be like, oh, ugh.
I don't know.
Is this worth it?
Do you think...
I don't think this is worth it. I'm going to pass.
Sorry, that's a hard no for me. Well, can I give you the rose back?
Right, and they can even do it like a surprise. Like no one knows what the Bachelor looks like until.
Did they kind of do that in one of them?
I think
it wasn't
so.
Bachelor. It was something.
It was a
like one of the ripoffs of it.
Oh no, it was one where they told everyone he was a millionaire.
Yeah,
and he wasn't.
Oh,
but see that's
and then they had the fat one. It was
Well, what do they define as fat too?
No,
like
it was
like
all.
Me,
It was all like us. It was bigger people.
Okay.
She said, "Yeah."
I said it was like us.
Yeah.
She did.
They were
she
bigger
did say
people.
that. Yeah.
It was a fat bachelor.
Okay.
It only lasted one season.
Exactly. So
Which
I
was
mean,
sad because it was a good show.
But I'm just saying, it's those women. If the guys didn't look the way they did, and they weren't doing it for the fame, they wouldn't be there.
Like I said, I don't know. With the
those
guy,
women are not looking for a relationship; they're looking for fame and money.
On The Bachelorette,
Vice versa.
yeah. See, I would think so on The Bachelorette because the guys that are on there, none of them are looking for any kind of relationship.
No,
they're looking for an attractive woman and fame. I'm not saying that their motives are that much detached. I'm saying they're the same.
But
I don't think the girls are.
Because if you watch The Bachelor and you watch the interaction with the women, it doesn't necessarily. And now, granted, it also depends on how they film it and portray it.
Right.
But the women, the conversations they have, the way they act with each other, it doesn't seem like that.
Yeah.
On The Bachelorette, the guys, they're a bunch of fucking douchebags.
Well, of course they are.
And to me, it seems like they're there to further their career, to further their image.
I just think the same thing with the girls.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It may not
that
seem
way.
like it, but I think honestly,
when's the last time you watched The Bachelor?
I'm going by basically
perception,
and like there's a commercial for The Bachelor, and they show like a little.
How many seasons of The Bachelor have there been?
Like 27 or something.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
I've probably seen half of them.
Okay,
because there for a while we used to watch them all the time.
Yeah.
Because I was always really good at picking who.
I think when I lived with you guys, it was on. I'd watch it then. But that's probably the most I've ever watched.
Yeah.
Because I obviously, if I'm not being forced to watch it, I'm not going to watch it.
I think Trista was the first Bachelorette.
Yeah, and they end up getting married.
They have kids.
And
they're still
So
together.
I mean, in those cases, it works out. But I'm just saying, overall, I'm not. Watch whatever you want. I don't have to like it, and my judgment of it means absolutely nothing. But
when I was in Nashville, I had one of the little girls in my classroom. She was one of the women who got picked.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's on The Doctors. Do you know that show?
Yeah.
The Doctors. He was the Bachelor, and he chose the mom in my classroom.
Oh.
But they didn't make it, obviously.
Yeah.
She made it with somebody else.
That's funny.
we tell you about the kid.
The mom.
She made the kid with somebody else.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm definitely more if I'm gonna sit down and watch one of them, I'd rather watch The Bachelor than Bachelorette.
Yeah, well,
and I'm just assuming here, but I would assume that lasting relationships are more likely to come out of The Bachelorette. I'm sorry, The Bachelor than The Bachelorette.
Huh.
For the ones that I can think of off my head, almost all of them were from The Bachelor.
Yeah.
So the man was the person.
Trista
is the only one I can think of that was the Bachelorette.
That got married and had a last
who still has.
Yeah. There was the one, I don't remember what the guy's name was, but there was that one season where he picked like the hot, like Hawaiian looking chick.
Sean.
They're still together.
Yep. They just had their second baby.
Yeah. I do know that.
Well, I mean,
see, I do know some reality TV show stuff.
Well, you have to, being married to her.
That's all I watch.
That's all she watches.
Yeah. And actually, we're actually going to do an episode, I think later this year, we're going to do a whole episode dedicated to reality TV, maybe.
All right.
So that's the episode that you have to be here, because it's going to be like this episode was with me being the quiet one.
No, you'll be all talking because it's whether or not reality TV has ruined television.
Oh. So. Well, we're going to need you as the counterpoint.
Yeah.
So
I don't necessarily. In some ways, I think it has, but some ways I don't think it has.
No.
And I actually feel the same way.
And we know the backstory too because we've been on reality TV.
Mandy and I have been on a reality TV show.
Yes.
Oh.
Did you know? You knew that?
I don't think so. Well, just that wedding thing with Susan.
Yep.
Yeah. So we were on it was on
CMT, I think, or something like
that. What's the other one that starts with
GAC?
GAC.
Great American Country, I think.
Yeah, it was a TV show on there. It was a reality show about themed Vegas weddings. Yeah. And Mandy and I were on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that. Maybe.
And the guy, so she got married by King Arthur. And like in person, the guy looked like a freaking crack addict. Some heroin addict they like pulled off the street. On TV, he looked fine, but the guy's makeup in person was terrible. But
that's makeup's for.
I know that.
Yeah.
Stand here, say this, do this.
It was all very scripted.
Look in the mirror, get out of the car again, go back in the car, get back out of the car. Now get out like this.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of reality to it.
It's really exhausting.
Could you imagine being on like the real world where that's like all the time?
Yep.
Rules.
Love it.
See, as far as my experience with reality TV, as far as watching, I'm obviously never that, but was in the late '90s when we lived together, and I think it was Real World 9, which was one of his. I think it was New Orleans.
Yeah, no, it was Vegas.
No, the one I remember watching was New Orleans.
Yep.
I thought New Orleans happened before Vegas.
It might
have. He's just talking about the one I remember.
No, you're right, because Vegas was going on when we were living in the apartment.
He's just talking about the one he remembers.
We were in the apartment when New Orleans was going on, because that's the only one I remember watching.
Oh, okay.
Because it was just, for some reason, I did kind of get into that one.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one with...
I don't remember. I don't remember now.
Yeah, I remember watching it, but I don't remember which one it was.
The Christian girl was on that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because remember, I think she called the one black girl colored, and they're like, oh, no.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I remember that. Her name was Julie.
Yeah, it is. Yep, you're right.
See, I remember more than I thought I did. But that's like the fullest extent of like reality television for me, as far as that goes.
Yeah, I watched it all.
I don't know if it was 9 or not, but it was the.
You're right. It happened. That was in 2000.
Yep. So.
Who else was in that season? Look at these people.
There was a couple other.
Jamie Murray was her name. Oh no, it was. No, it was Julie Stouffer. That's
yeah. I just remember Julie, and she was raised like kind of almost Amish,
Mormon. I think she was.
Or maybe Mormon.
I think she was Mormon.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that
was very very strict. And she did.
Mormons are crazy.
And I think even at that point, black people were still considered like 3/4 of human,
and she
by the Mormon Church.
It says that she is a Mormon.
Okay.
She was going to BYU.
Yep. Yeah. Brigham Young.
Oh, it was David. David was the black guy.
Well, there was the black chick she said it to. The girl. It was the black chick who took offense to it, because I think they were in like.
Look at the picture. I don't see a black chick.
Oh, there was one.
Oh, that's a really small picture. So. Yeah, that's not going to work.
No, it didn't blow it up at all.
I literally clicked the plus sign, Mandy, and the background changed to white instead of black. It didn't actually blow the picture up at all. That's terrible. But yeah, so that was 2000.
Yeah, that's it. But as far as reality TV show goes,
that ran June to November 2000. So you're right.
That was the whole time. Pretty much the whole time we were there. Well, it was 6 months of it was half of the time.
Because we moved out in October of 2000.
2000, yeah. I moved in November of 99. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
Jeez, that was a long time ago.
I know. 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Holy shit. Well, almost 20 years ago. It'll be 20 years in November. But I know I was just talking to my dad, and we were talking about latter-day Jethro Tull releases, and we're like,
yeah, because
that's 25 fucking years old.
This is what Mandy wants to talk about.
Well, I know. Well, she's ignoring me.
Oh, God,
anyway.
yeah.
Jethro Tull
I was just
releases.
talking, just I'm referring to, like, time, how time has fucking passed, you know. Roots and Branches is 25 years old this year. Or no, it's 24 years old.
Yeah, because it came out in 94.
95.
No, I mean, yeah, 95.
So, and the very last official Jethro Tull album, which was .com, is 20 years old this year. Which is just fucking crazy.
Yeah.
To me. But, anywho, that was just a little side note.
That was a really long side note.
That was a whole long side note.
It's sidetracked on reality TV and all sorts of crazy stuff.
I have a feeling
You all right there, Mandy?
Sneezing.
Yeah. Mandy's going to have a fantastic time talking with us about the reality show.
Yes, I am.
So more so than she did with our Marvel show.
I'm definitely going to prepare for that one.
Good. Well, you'll be doing way better than me for any of them.
Yeah, so as far as like the Marvel stuff goes, I think it's going to be really interesting. I think what happens with Disney Plus and what happens in those series, I think is going to push the MCU forward one way or another, I think.
Right. I think Disney Plus and what's going on with streaming is going to push the entire industry in a different direction. I mean, not just Disney Plus, but think about the potential that, I mean, Star Wars. Star Wars has always been a cinematic thing. If Disney Plus's Star Wars shows go well, I don't foresee them doing much more than maybe 6 more movies, and that's it. Probably. They'll focus on TV shows because they can do a lot more with them.
Yeah. I don't know. I hope that the MCU moving forward is able to recapture some of what they've done over the past,
well, and hopefully do it in a different way too. I mean, that's you don't want to rehash everything you've already done.
No. But I hope that they can find that cohesiveness throughout the movies moving forward.
I think it's in good hands. Kevin Feige has.
That's true.
He says as long as he's in charge, I have no doubt that the pathway will be properly planned.
But from Iron Man 1 and through Far From Home, there's been this one main focus. Even if it was,
I see, story-wise.
Yeah,
like
story-wise.
Plot point.
Yes, it was all, everything.
It was leading up to...
Even if you didn't know it at the time through Iron Man and Incredible Hulk and even those early movies, you didn't know what it was building to. But behind the scenes, they knew it was building to something.
Well, that being said, we don't know what's being processed now, but we don't know what's already been planned.
No, but
because they knew this was coming.
But Thanos was a great villain.
True, and it took them 22 movies to get there to
so
get to that final battle.
If it's Kang or Magneto, whoever it is, hopefully they're able to have that same presence in a villain.
Right. It's going to be tough because villains, that's the one thing that Marvel
has issues with.
Yeah.
Are villains.
Is villains. I think everyone has issues with villains. It's very rare that you get a great villain.
Yeah.
Because you can have good villains, but to get a great villain, a Thanos or a Darth Vader, before the prequels. No, just because it demystified him.
I guess so. I guess so.
As a villain for the original trilogy, he was the king of the villains. But, or a Heath Ledger version of Joker. It's very difficult to find that. It's like lightning in a bottle sometimes. Yeah. Like I said, you can get a good villain, but Blofeld and Bond was always a good villain, depending on who was portraying him too.
Speaking of villains. The new Joker movie looks fucking wild.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I don't generally like the idea of that, what they're doing with that.
And for the most part, I'm not a big fan of him as an actor, but he plays. I think he's going to play the Joker well.
I think so. I think he has the benefit of kind of drawing off of everything that's come before. It's kind of like it's tough to do a bad Batman now.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Ben Affleck, and I can understand some of the criticisms, but I like Ben Affleck. But he had the benefit of saying, well, I could take a little bit of Keaton, I could take a little bit of Kilmer, I could take a little bit of Bale, take a little bit of West, whatever. There's a lot of stuff you can draw from. And the Joker's another character like that.
Yeah.
You know, Nicholson, Ledger.
But almost has
even
like
Leto.
It almost has like a
or it's an origin story.
Well, yeah, I know that, but it almost has like a Psycho kind of theme to it also.
I think so. But
the relationship with his mother and things like that.
Right. Which is fine. I mean, they've never really, even in the comics, they've never really truly defined his character, his origin story.
Yeah.
And there's been several attempts, but they've never really been able to define it.
So, yeah, I'm really interested to see that. I know it's not MCU related, but
it's comic book related.
It is comic book related.
Right. I think the DC universe is really trying to recalibrate. And
they should.
And they should, absolutely. I haven't seen Shazam yet. People liked it, and it did well.
It did do well, and I wasn't really all that interested in seeing it.
I want to see it.
I mean, I'll see it now that it's out.
Yeah, I really want to see it, and I'm hoping I like it. But, you know, I think at this point, it doesn't even matter what they do. If they just did standalone movies, and that would be my...
Yeah, I'd probably be fine with it.
And honestly, if they really want to continue and wrap this up, Flashpoint's going to probably do that. That's the Flash movie. So if they do that, reset everything, and then just kind of let everything be as it is. Not everything has to be a shared universe.
No, but I think they're kind of trying to draw off of obviously what Marvel's done.
They would do better to just do their own thing.
Focus on their own thing. Yeah,
they have great characters. Just do your characters.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that other stuff. If you do those movies right, you're going to make money.
Yeah.
So...
All right, well, that's about all I got.
Yeah, I'm
Mandy,
good.
You got anything to add?
I mean,
nope.
It's been difficult to shut you up. But
I
if
know.
you have at least one more thing you want to throw in there.
I knew this would be kind of a hard topic.
It was, Mandy. Yeah. It's okay.
But I'm here.
We just love having you here, Mandy.
Thank you. I love being here.
Yeah, I like having you on the show.
You had this special level of estrogen to the episodes.
Yeah, because
the only level of estrogen.
Because Ian doesn't bring enough estrogen.
I never bring enough estrogen. Or testosterone.
or notes. Ian never brings enough notes either.
That's fine. I don't either.
I bring just the right amount of notes.
Me too.
Which is absolutely zero.
For me, hey, I'll tell you what, I've never come to a show and not had something to talk about.
There you go.
And not been able to follow the conversation. So I must be doing something right.
Must be doing
and I can tell I know one listener specifically who really enjoys hearing my voice. And yes, it's me. I don't really enjoy hearing my voice, but
you're such a bastard.
But
I'm
a fan of both of us on our show when I listen to it as a a bystander.
Hey, do you bring notes to your other podcast?
No.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm exactly pretty much the same on that one as I am on this one, and I'm running that one. For now, not anymore.
That's why only one episode's been released.
Right? Yeah, that's why I'm relinquishing control of that. Because if I want it to go anywhere, I'm going to have to let someone else do it. So Jason will have to take over.
Story.
And I think he's okay with that. Hey, I'm an ideas guy. I throw ideas out and let other people do it.
There you go.
I'm good with that. I can do that. I'm just not good at executing stuff. I'm lucky I can move. I get out of bed every day, honestly. Jesus. Because there are days I just wake up and go, TV's right there. I got a soda sitting there. I don't need to get up for a couple more hours until that soda's gone or I have to pee.
There you go.
I guess.
That's living to me right there.
Well, any questions or comments, you can email us at contact@lifeandjournalpodcast.com. Check us out on Twitter and Facebook. Leave us a 5-star... Wait, hold on. Leave us a... Wait, no, hold on.
You can't do that. It's retroactive, Nick.
Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, and that's all I got. Thanks for being on the show today, Mandy.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll be on another
Technically,
one.
you just experienced a nice little time warp.
There you go.
People won't understand that until they listen to episode 80 of the Life and Joe podcast.
Right.
All right.
Now you got to listen to episode 80 to know what we're talking about.
Doggone it.
All right, Mandy. Well, like I said, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime.
Welcome.
I love it when you're on.
Thank you. Me too.
So.
All right, well, until next time.
Talk to y'all later.
Peace, bitches.
In my role, let me tell you about it. This shit right here, man, I'm about it. Only real niggas reside around me. Yo, old lady, drop a guard around me. Dip like I know you can, bitch. Show me the ropes like we in the ring. Got you two cobras, you wanna hang. Shoulder to shoulder, them niggas basic. You know I won't lie. You know that I ain't for that fuck shit. You niggas alright, but I'm way better and she love it. Know that y'all sick as fuck. Here go this tissue, bro. We taking the dub. Hoping you get you some. This hit like a pick me up. She taking my drugs. Know they see the sign. That's some dollar signs. Know they sick as fuck. Know they sick as fuck. Tell them get well soon. Tell them get well soon. Know you sick as fuck. Get well soon.
Oh shit. Watch out, you the god, Billy. Oh shit. Right now, and I'm smiling in your face, bitch. With a gold smile, you should probably make placement to your eye. Niggas sick as fuck. Standing with niggas who down for that party. Who down for some bitches who showing their bodies. Swear to God, nigga, this Molly got me up and rolling. These bodies of water. Bring that shit in bottles. We mosh at the party. They hate when we style it.